Joshi. I, along with my team, will be discussing about the Museum of the Future from the perspective of project managers. During this podcast, we will be discussing about the several stages of project life cycles, along with the challenges faced by the team and how did they overcome it. We will also discuss about the tools like Gantt charts and risk registers used to monitor and critically analyze this project. Now, talking about the Museum of the Future as a building itself. It is an exhibition space for innovative and futuristic ideologies. It is located in the financial district of Dubai in UAE. It is known as the building of most iconic building of the current times and also world's most beautiful building. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai and the vice president of UAE, announced on 4th of March 2015 that he is planning to establish the Museum of the Future after its showcase in earlier February in Government Summit. It was opened for public on 22nd February 2022. As per the article in New York Times, the project costed around 136 million USD. Conceived by Sheikh Mohammed as an incubator for innovation and invention, the Museum of the Future is one of the most advanced buildings in the world, where a place where people can experience and research about technology. It also became a symbol of architecture that pushes boundaries via digital design and use of efficient materials. The Museum of Future comprises of three parts. One is the Green Hill, the second one is the building itself, and the third and the most iconic, the void. The Green Hill represents the earth, where it gives the elevation for the actual building, and it increases the unobtrusive way above the metro line. The second and the most important part is the futuristic upper building that represents the mankind with its strength, artistry, and ability to create in harmony. This is also formed by the bold shape which emerges from the hill and is covered with the Arabic calligraphy about the future. Lastly, the elliptical void, which represents the innovation, is created by creating an empty space between the structure that depicts about the unknown to the mankind or the unwritten future. Now, the exterior facade, which is the most popular on Instagram and internet, talks about the Arabic poem by Dubai's rural, which is about the future of Emirates. This is calligraphed by Emirat artist Meta Bil Lahej. The words written on this exteriors are the quotes from Sheikh himself, one of which the most popular quote is, "We won't live for hundreds of years, but we can create something that will last for hundreds of years." Now, to discuss the first, give it over to Bishal.
Hi, thank you, Smurti. Hi, I am Bisal Mehta, and today I will be talking about the initiation phase of Museum of the Future. The initiation phase marks a crucial milestone in the development of this ambitious project. It is a time of meticulous planning, collaborative ideation, and setting the stage for the grand vision to become a tangible reality. The Museum of the Future envisions a world-class facility that will serve as a beacon of inspiration for generations to come, sparking curiosity and pushing the boundaries of human potential. There are 6 key aspects of the initiation phase of this project, which includes visionary conceptualization, stakeholder collaboration, technological marvels, community involvement, sustainable design, and global inspiration. So, as the initiation phase starts, all stakeholders are introduced and appointed by Dubai Future Foundation. Stakeholders involved in a project are divided into 2 categories. One is active stakeholder and non-active stakeholder. And in active stakeholders, the major persons and company are involved, which are visionary Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, financial sponsor Dubai Future Foundation, architect and designer Kila Design, technological partners Autodesk Revit and Teklab Bimsite, lead consultant for engineers Bureau Hapald, project director Tobias Bully, project manager and employees representative Mathwest Southwest, cost consultant Ecom, Landscaping Riceberry Ellis, Health and Safety Atkins, Security Atkins, Civil Partners BAM Hicks and Transgulf, Foundation Works Bureau Foundation Corporation, and the non-stakeholders are educational and resource institutions, local community, tourism industry, artists and content creators, sustainability expert, visitors, and government. And in stakeholder mapping, based on the power that one possesses in the project and the impact they can cause for the projects, all stakeholders are separated into four quadrants. Let's take example. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum possesses the highest level of power as he is the visionary and ruler of Dubai. However, he is not involved in day-to-day operation of the project, resulting into minimal impact. Thus, he falls under the category of keep satisfied. So, in active stakeholders like Kila Design, Bureau Hapald, Royce Perry have the highest impact and great amount of power as they are involved in the creation of this project. Thus, they need to be managed closely, so they are kept in a managed closely quadrant. Before we start any project, there are certain non-stakeholders who needs to be informed about the development regarding the projects like government and legislative body which are responsible to give license. Similarly, local community needs to be made aware about the infrastructure development to boost footfall. So they are kept in a keep informed quadrant. Beside than that, there are several indirect consultations required while building a project of this scale. Consultants like geotechnical experts and sustainability experts need to be monitored for their inputs and suggestions from time to time. So they are kept in a monitor quadrants. Now my colleague Moi will be going to talk about the planning phase of the project.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you for that. Now I'll be talking about the planning phase. I'll be talking about how the whole project started and how it was being grouped. After the announcement, Mohammed Sheikh actually announced on 4th of March 2015, he called a particular meeting between the Killer Design and the Bureau Apport about a particular meeting on how this project is going to be developed and what things they needed to do to actually make things work smoothly. So they came up with the idea, okay, fine. It discussed with Killer Design. I want a particular design for this project. I want this project to be the biggest project in Dubai. So they went back. I think after 4.5 months, Killer Design came back after different challenges of him getting that particular structure. He came back, he brought this particular structure, which they are going to work on. So after the whole development, that one started. Now we'll see that they made use of a particular methodologic software, which is the Gantt chart. This Gantt chart was also used in order to break down the time frame and the project, the name of the project on how things should be done. We can see that from the screen, we could see the use of Gantt chart. We could see that there was an announcement which was made on the 4th of March 2015, going down to after 4 months, which was there about June of that same year, 2015, where Killer Design came up with the old design, back down to where it came to the construction start work, where the construction work was kicked off. The construction work was kicked off in May 2017, which the whole project was supposed to end 2021, which being because of some delay, the project was actually shifted to 22nd of February 2022, which this particular delays we will be discussing it towards the end of this project. So now let's talk about communication. We all know that in projects like this, both communication and teamwork is very, very, very important. Now, how did they come about this? Making use of software. The use of some certain software which Killer Design and Bureau Rapport actually came up together to develop in order to help this project was actually being structured. We have different softwares that was actually developed. We have the CAD software, we have the BIM software, we have the 2 and 3D software, we have the visualization software, we have the project management software, which was actually used in order to make this project a successful one. Now, I will be talking about the design of the structure. It was actually complex, it was actually difficult for them to actually come about because they had to like transition from 2D software into 3D and 4D software in order for the stakeholders and the main people that are actually interested in the construction should be able to understand and visualize what this project is all about. Now, I would like my colleague, which is Bishao, I would like my colleague Nikon to actually complete the monitoring and the execution stage.
Thank you, Mui. Hello everyone, I am Nikunj Prajapati and I am going to discuss the execution and monitoring phase of the Museum of the Future. Also, give you the details regarding the materials and softwares which are used in construction of the Museum of the Future. So, execution means taking the project plan and putting it to action. The first step is excavation process, which involves various steps like site preparation, surveying, earthwork, dewatering, and foundation constructions. The Museum of the Future in the Dubai has been constructed using innovative and cutting-edge materials to reflect its future realistic vision like stainless steel, smart glass, carbon fiber, and advanced polymers. With an elliptical void center of its torus shape, described by some as a giant eye. The 3,20,000 square feet building has no columns to support its structure. Instead, it relies on a network of 2,400 steel tubes that intersects diagonally in its outer frame, and onto which slabs of concrete flooring and almost 1,83,000 square feet of cladding were attached. Surrounding this, on the 1,89,444 square feet faced are 1,024 stainless steel panels, insides with a message of hope for the future from Dubai's ruler. According to Mr. Bully, each time you install a piece, the building naturally shifts a little to take up the load, which happens with any building, but we had to analyze complex movements in all directions given the shape, a process that allows us to check pieces digitally before fabrication and then install them in the right sequence accordingly. Robotics were used during the construction of the Museum of the Future that includes prefabrication and 3D printing, automated machinery, drones and surveying, construction robotics, intelligent building systems. As the project progresses, along with execution, monitoring also become a crucial as it is important to keep track and adjusting plan as needed. It involves closely observing and assessing various aspects of the construction process to ensure that the project progresses accordingly to the plan, meets safety standards, and stay on schedule and within the budget. The monitoring phase in the construction of the Museum of the Future includes various aspects like quality control and assurance, safety monitoring, budget and cost monitoring, environmental monitoring, and risk assessment. As this museum is a symbol of innovation and technology, based software available like Tekla, Trimble, and Beam were used for monitoring project management and constructions. Some potential applications of Tekla software in the construction of the Museum of the Future includes structural design and detailing, clash detection and coordination, construction sequencing and planning, quantities and estimations, fabrication, and site management. Trimble is a technology company that offers a wide range of software solutions for various industries, including constructions. Their software solutions often focused on improving productivity, collaborations, and efficiency throughout the construction process. Some of their notable software products that might be relevant to construction projects like the Museum of the Future includes the Trimble Connect, Trimble SketchUp, and Trimble Prologue. By using Trimble and Tekla software as a major, the project rework reduced by 65%, productivity was boosted by 50%, and total energy saving was 25%. As per Henry Shara, who is Business Development Manager at the Trimble Solution Middle East. Now, for the last stage of the project, I invite all my friends to discuss it with me.
Thank you, Nikunj. Now that we are discussing about the last stage or the closing phase, I think it will be high time that we discuss all the challenges faced by this project. So, are there anything that anyone thinks that they must have faced during this project?
Yes, talking about challenges. Bishal,
Yeah.
please, what do you think? How did they come about the fabrication of the windows?
Well, Mui, as you know, the project structure is elliptical.
Yeah,
So the engineers at that time they cannot place a normal window. So they came up with the idea to use a plain window.
yeah.
So they have consulted with the window manufacturer who used to manufacture a plain window, shows them their ideas, present them there how to place the windows there, and they have given the solution and built a window of a plane, and they have just fixed it in the project.
Yeah, okay.
But what I'm going to talk, you know the climate of the Dubai.
Yeah.
So what is the effect of climate coordination? As we know, the Dubai's climate is very critical, and what its roles? What do you think, Smriti?
Well, I think climate plays a massive role because these kinds of construction are built for that will last 100 years, and eventually climate does play a role. Two major factors that we consider in terms of climate is heat and humidity. Because Dubai is popular for heat, summers go roaring in temperatures. So, to avoid this heat part, what they have done is they have used white gypsum inside the structure that acts as an insulation which keeps the heat outside and keeps the temperature within much more cooler for visitors. And for humidity, with humidity comes the corrosion part. So to avoid that corrosion, they have used stainless steel instead of regular iron or cast iron, because stainless steel is pretty much corrosion proof. It lasts much longer in humidity. Now that we have talked about, I think, most of our challenges, I think it will be fair that we talk about the success of this project as well.
But before
Like,
then,
I would like to ask a question. Like every projects done in recent times, COVID-19 must have affected this one as well, right, Mui?
yes, really, really does. Because when we look at the time frame, you could say that COVID-19 actually affected. Because when we talk about the delay of the project was supposed to end 2021. But because of some certain delay, which we also know that generally during early 2020 towards 2021, we had this whole COVID issue and a lot of companies were actually shut down. So we could say that these were some of the reasons why the project was actually being delayed to 22nd of February 2022. So yes, I know it really, really made an impact. But something that actually struck me more is the way the project manager was able to actually foresee all those things. Smoothie, what do you think about it?
Well, project managers do foresee these things.
Yeah.
So what happens is at the beginning of project manager sits with the team called risk management team, who will together form a sheet where they will talk about each possible threat, each possible thing that could go wrong in the project, whether it is related to design, whether it is related to finance, climate, anything, technology, everything. And they form a list with its impact on the project, whether it's going to cost just time, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost human efforts, and it is probability that how much is the chances that this thing will occur. So in talk about pandemic, there is a clause called epidemic in risk registers, which in routine registers it is will be somewhere around 1 to 3%, and that must have looked like on, as you can see it on screen, that at the beginning of the project in 2017 it must have looked like 1 to 3%, but then when it came to early 2020 when we were hit by pandemic, it shifted from 80 to 1% to 80 to 90%, which is almost unavoidable. And that was what happened. So this risk was monitored and it's re-evaluated every time. That's where project managers always have contingency plans where they can come up with solutions, and certain things are unavoidable that you have to face them.
Yes, you're actually right, because after all these challenges, but definitely there should be some success factors that was actually considered, because I really think there are more of the success factors.
Yes, yes. As we discussed the challenges, there are success factors of the Museum of the Future too.
Okay.
Since the opening of the museum, more than 1 million visitors from the 163
Yeah.
different countries already visited the museum. Its iconic trumped-shaped structure, adorned with LED display showcasing ever challenging message of hope and progress. It has become an architectural marvel that represents Dubai's commitment to pushing the boundaries of what is possible. More than 180 global events held, including current technology summit. Okay, and also it won 10 international awards from recognized global institutes along with lead platinum certificates. And now at the end, I would like to invite Smruti for the closing remarks.
Well, thank you, Nikunj, for the excellent success factors. Well, as we discussed throughout this thing, and as the long list that Vishal had shared us with in the beginning, it takes a village to create a project.
Yes.
And Museum of Future has been a product of amalgamation of human creativity and computer intelligence. It is not just about hard skills but also soft skills, as Mui you said, that it is about communication across the team played a massive role when it is such a complex structure that you are building, n number of teams from different nationalities coming in and building this thing together. It is also took out of the box thinking when it came to challenges like having troubles with window panels and stuff like that, that they had to go to aeroplane manufacturers for that. And it also shows that today the museum has gotten several awards and LEED accreditation, which is like one of the biggest thing in architectural
Yeah.
world. And the monument is sheer depiction of what the future of construction will look like in the future.